can we still attract new industry, well-paying jobs if we freeze that program? Why? 60 seconds.
Well, first of all, we overuse pilots. Cities our size normally have anywhere from 5 to 10 pilots. We have 2 entities that are issuing pilots. We also have the Economic Development Growth Engine, and the only people that approve the pilots are the city mayor and the county mayor. Yes, we do need to freeze pilots. We need to continue the programs and the development that we already have. That way, we need to start paying down that $1.6 billion deficit, and we also need to start redirecting some of that money. I hear everybody talking about working in the communities. I hear everybody talking about trying to better the communities. And I hear people asking, where's the money going to come from? Well, guess what? We're spending the money. Once again, it's about prioritization. I'm not against economic development or the EDGE board, but I am saying they have to share.
Thank you, Mr. Williams. I want to kind of break from the script a little bit and ask about pilots and tax breaks to all of you guys. 60 seconds. We've heard from Mr. Williams. Let's go to the line. Mr. Collins, is the pilot program that we have right now effective? Should it be tweaked? Should it be suspended? Just your thoughts.
I think the pilot program should come back to the council for approval, because we're the ones that's going to be held accountable for it. We should be the one to make sure that the persons who get it or the businesses that get it are held accountable, and that's no recourse. Now, somebody would say, well, we assigned a contract with them, but we sign contracts with our employees and we renege on them all the time. My issue is that if the city council, if we acquiesce our treasure to these businesses, it is the city's council's responsibility to hold them accountable when we do that. And we don't do that. Only the mayor and the county mayor does that. And they don't do that. And that's why these pilots and these corporations run rawhide over us. When they promise us $45,000 a year jobs and we get $10.10. And when we give them $94 million to build their facility and they hire temp service to hire our workers.
Thank you. Mr. Strickland, 60 seconds on pilots.
If I were king of the world, I would prohibit every state and every city from giving tax incentives to businesses. But I'm not running for that position. So we have to live in the real world. And the real world is that every state and every major city in the country is offering tax incentives. So unless we want to unilaterally disarm, we have to offer tax incentives or we'll be out of the job creation business. Now, pilots are the most misunderstood thing in government. Pilots are not cash payments. We do not offer cash payments to companies. In addition to that, pilots actually generate more property taxes during the term of the pilot than before the pilot, because the value of the property went up and therefore the taxes owed went up. So they're not nearly as bad as the common thought is, but we do need to hold the companies absolutely accountable. Just like I'm going to hold city employees accountable, I'm going to hold the companies who get the pilots accountable.
Thank you. 60 seconds also to you, Mr. Wharton. Mr. Wharton, 60 seconds to you about pilots.
Thank you. Let me pick up where Councilman Strickland left off. There was a swamp down there, had nothing but a city sewer line on it. It was paying $52,000 a year in taxes. During the period of the Mitsubishi pilot, it will pay $500,000 a year in taxes. Once the pilot rolls off, it'll pay, I think it's $2.5 million a year. And then counting all the folks who are working down there now, and they're not minimum wage jobs. They are high-paying jobs. So again, it is misunderstood. I wish we could be a bit more targeted and not just take whatever comes here. We need to rev up our economic development recruitment process so we can go out and pick what we want that fits in with the needs here. But we cannot just say we're out of the business. It's foolhardy to suggest that we're already suffering, we'll perish.
Thank you, Mr. Wharton. Again, this category is about economic development and jobs, and when you think about the economy as a whole, I want to ask you a question, Mr. Strickland, 60 seconds. we've had a lot of conversation, had a lot of it last week about